I saw him kiss her. Xiao Zhan breaks down after tracking Wang Yibo with Tan Songyun. It was supposed to be over. They had said their goodbyes, parted ways with cryptic statements, and left the world to speculate about the end of what fans once believed to be an unshakable bond, Xiao Zhan and Wang Yibo. But love, as it turns out, doesn't always leave quietly. And on a storm-drenched night in Beijing, Xiao Zhan discovered a truth he was never meant to see: Wang Yibo kissing Tan Songyun in the shadows of the city that once held their memories. The start of something he couldn't ignore. It began with suspicion. Sources close to Xiao Zhan reveal he'd been restless for weeks. Rumors of Wang Yibo and Tan Songyun's growing closeness had begun circulating again, this time not as idle gossip, but whispered warnings. One friend recalls Xiao Zhan pacing their shared dressing room, rereading a text Yibo had sent 2 days earlier: "Don't believe everything you hear. Sometimes I just need to breathe." But something about that message felt off. Cold. Detached. Wrong. So Xiao Zhan did what he never thought he'd do: he followed him. And that decision would tear him apart. The moment everything shattered. It was 11:47 p.m. when Xiao Zhan arrived at a quiet rooftop cafe in Chaoyang district. His driver parked discreetly nearby, while Xiao remained in the car, hoodie pulled over his head, staring at the figures he'd seen step out of the elevator. Wang Yibo. Tan Songyun. He watched them take a corner table, not hidden, but not obvious either. He watched her laugh, watched him smile in that rare, soft way he used to reserve for him. He told himself it was innocent. Until it wasn't. Because at 12:06 a.m., Yibo leaned in, tucked a strand of hair behind Tan Songyun's ear, and kissed her. It wasn't passionate. It wasn't dramatic. It was slow. Familiar. The kind of kiss that meant something. Xiao Zhan's heart stopped. The silent collapse. He didn't burst in. He didn't scream. He didn't call anyone. Instead, he got out of the car, walked down the block into an empty alley, and collapsed against the wall. A fan passing by caught a blurry photo of him, crouched low, hand covering his face, tears visible even through the rain. That photo now has over 15 million shares on Weibo with the caption: "You don't cry like that for someone you've moved on from." The interview that shook the industry. 3 days later, Xiao Zhan showed up for a previously scheduled magazine interview. No one expected him to address the incident. But when asked about trust in relationships, something in him cracked. He paused, looked down, and said it. "I saw him kiss her." The room froze. He didn't stop. "I thought I was over it. Over him. I really did. But when I saw it, something in me broke. Not because he moved on. But because I realized, maybe I was just the person he used to get to her." The interviewer tried to move the conversation forward, but Xiao Zhan shook his head, wiped his eyes, and whispered, "I followed him because I still love him. That's the truth." The internet erupts. Within minutes, "I saw him kiss her" began trending across every platform in Asia. Fans were divided. Some called Xiao Zhan's pain raw and real, praising him for his honesty. Others attacked Wang Yibo and Tan Songyun, accusing them of betrayal and manipulation. A smaller group defended Yibo, insisting he's allowed to move on. But the most viral comment, under the original interview post said, "You can't blame someone for falling out of love, but you can blame them for not telling the person they left behind." Tan Songyun responds. 2 days later, Tan Songyun posted a single story on her social feed. "I didn't know he was still in love with you. I wouldn't have let him kiss me if I did." She deleted it within 20 minutes. But it was too late. Screenshots exploded. Fans demanded clarification. Was she implying Wang Yibo hadn't moved on at all? That he had lied, not only to Xiao Zhan, but to her too. The secret message. Sources close to Yibo claimed he had tried to contact Xiao Zhan that same night. A private message allegedly sent to him read: "It wasn't what you think. It wasn't planned. I don't even know how it happened. I just couldn't stop myself." Xiao Zhan never replied. But days later, he posted a photo of an old bracelet fans recognized, a handmade one Yibo had gifted him during a shoot in 2021. The caption: "Broken, but still mine." Shu Kai's involvement. To complicate matters further, Shu Kai, Tan Songyun's current partner, was reportedly furious after hearing about the kiss. An anonymous crew member from a film set claimed Shu Kai stormed off set after receiving a call from Tan. Later that evening, a voice message leaked, allegedly between Shu Kai and Wang Yibo, with Shu Kai saying, "You've played enough games with her. Don't come near her again. I don't care what history you two have." Yibo didn't respond in the recording. But insiders say he looked devastated after that call. The final word, for now. A week later, Xiao Zhan did something no one expected. He appeared at a fan event. His speech was short, direct, but unforgettable. Heartbreak doesn't kill you. It just shows you how deeply you felt. And I felt it all. I don't regret loving him. I regret thinking I was the only one who meant it. As he walked off the stage, someone in the crowd shouted, "Do you still love him?" He stopped, turned around, and said, "More than he'll ever know." What happened between Wang Yibo, Xiao Zhan, and Tan Songyun has become more than a scandal. It's a mirror, showing the cost of silence, the weight of unresolved love, and the chaos of timing that never quite aligns. Will Wang Yibo speak publicly? Will Tan Songyun face Shu Kai's wrath? Will Xiao Zhan ever get the closure he deserves? No one knows. But one thing is certain. That kiss wasn't just between two people. It broke three. The rain wouldn't stop. Xiao Zhan stood there, back pressed against the wall of a quiet alley, as water soaked through his hoodie and dripped from his lashes. His breathing was uneven, chest rising and falling like a man gasping for air. He had just seen it. With his own eyes. Wang Yibo kissing Tan Songyun. And it wasn't a careless kiss. It was the kind of kiss people gave when they meant it. When it wasn't about the thrill or the moment, but about the person. A memory surged back, of him and Yibo in that same cafe 2 years ago, where they once sat close, whispering jokes between takes. Where Yibo had once leaned in and kissed him just the same way. Xiao Zhan felt like someone had torn that memory apart and recycled it, just with someone else. He wiped his face, not even sure if he was brushing away the rain or the tears. Probably both. Then he opened his phone, stared at Yibo's contact, still saved as "my idiot." He didn't call. He just stared. A home that didn't feel like one. When Xiao Zhan returned to his apartment, the silence was deafening. He left the lights off, dropped his soaked hoodie to the floor, and sat in the dark living room. The bracelet Yibo had tied around his wrist years ago, red threads, hand-woven, slightly fraying now, sat loosely on his skin. He pulled at it. Stopped. Pulled again. Then buried his face in his hands and screamed. Flashback, a promise broken. They were in the middle of filming when it happened. Yibo had pulled Xiao Zhan aside between takes, laughing as he handed him a milk tea. "You're addicted," Xiao Zhan teased. "I'm addicted to you," Yibo had said, not joking. Then, with cameras nowhere in sight, Yibo leaned in and whispered, "No matter what happens, I'll never hurt you." Not like that. And now, he had kissed someone else. Not just someone else. Tan Songyun. The message never sent. Xiao Zhan sat on the floor and began typing. "Did you ever love me? Or was I just a distraction from someone you couldn't have? Was she always in your heart, even when you said mine was your home? You kissed her like I never existed. He stared at the unsent message for a long time. Then he deleted it. He didn't want to give Yibo the satisfaction of knowing he still cared. Even though he did. So painfully much. Meanwhile, Tan Songyun's guilt. Across town, Tan Songyun sat curled on the couch of her apartment, her phone buzzing non-stop. Comments. Screenshots. The photo of Xiao Zhan in the alley. And worst of all, her name trending alongside his. She hadn't known he was there. She hadn't known he still loved Yibo like that. When Yibo leaned in to kiss her, she didn't pull away. She didn't think. She just let it happen. But afterward, when he'd walked her to her car, quiet, thoughtful, she knew something was off. "Are you okay?" she had asked. He hesitated. "I don't know," he whispered. She remembered that look in his eyes. Like he wasn't in the moment. Like he was somewhere else. And now she knew where. The next morning, Xiao Zhan breaks his silence. He logged into his private account. A space with only close friends and long-time team members. And he posted a single photo. An old Polaroid of him and Yibo backstage, laughing. Yibo had drawn a heart on it. Underneath, Xiao Zhan had written, "Even if the world burns, I'll still choose you." But this time, Xiao Zhan added one more line. "You let it burn. Alone." Fanbases in chaos. The post set everything on fire. Yibo's fans demanded a statement. Xiao Zhan's fans called for respect. Tan Songyun's fans were caught in the crossfire, many accusing her of stealing someone she knew wasn't fully hers. But the hardest part wasn't the backlash. It was the silence. Wang Yibo said nothing. The confrontation that never happened. That night, Xiao Zhan did something even his own assistant warned against. He went back to that cafe. He waited. From 8 p.m. to 12:41 a.m. Yibo never showed. But Tan Songyun did. She walked toward him hesitantly, coat wrapped tightly around her, eyes red. "He's not coming," she said quietly. Xiao Zhan looked at her, really looked, and for the first time, he didn't see a rival. He saw someone just as confused, just as hurt. "Did he tell you?" he asked. She shook her head. "No. But I saw the way he looked after. It wasn't about me. I was just where he needed to forget." Xiao Zhan's throat tightened. "So it was always me?" he asked. Tan Songyun didn't answer. But her silence said enough.